What is your goal as you start your marriage? More than just hopefully surviving your marriage.
How can you love each other better doing what is best for each other as spouses or even for your children?
Set a new PR. If you want productivity in your life, you need accountability.
We had so many people rooting for us, our counselors, our friends, all those people who attended our wedding. All those people were cheering us on.
Welcome to Marriage is a Marathon.
The podcast.
I'm Anthony Pangilinan.
And I'm Maricel Laksa Pangilinan.
And we are now on the sixth na tayo chapter ang pag-uusapan natin dito. So meron tayong making a decision. We're forming the word marathon, allowing time for preparation, reviewing the route, asking those who've gone before you. The last one was on taking your loved ones with you. Ngayon, gusto ko to.
Is having more than finishing in your agenda.
Oo, wag naman yung matapos lang. 'Di ba? Kasi iba dyan, nagsisimula ng race, anong layunin mo? Matapos ko lang. 'Di ba? Yun ang mga hindi nagtatapos.
Actually, may cut-off
Meron nga.
May cut-off.
Hindi ka pwedeng,
You have to run a little faster. Like
ang
in your
tawag doon
case
sa panahon
kasi,
namin, pabanjing-banjing. Hindi
okay,
pwede.
in your case kasi, you want to finish with your personal best.
PR ang tawag doon.
Ako naman, I want to experience the whole course and still be able to finish.
So, importante yun. What is your goal as you start your marriage? More than just hopefully surviving your marriage. So, you're talking about PR. Berlin Marathon. I've spoken about this in other opportunities before. Nasa 37th kilometer na ako. At marami nang nag-quit, ha? Marami na of the 50,000 runners. And I was thinking, ayaw ko naman mag-quit kasi 5 kilometers na lang. Baka naman pwedeng slow down na lang, relax, di ba? So I closed my eyes. And then, whose face do I see?
Donnie!
Donnie! Because a lot of people, when they close their eyes, they see Donnie. Pero kaya ako nakita si Donnie kasi natandaan ko, online, tinatrack pala niya ako.
Patay.
Ibig sabihin tinatrack?
Well, nakikita niya kung gaano kabilis ka tumatakbo at kung saan ka bumabagal.
Yun. So na-gets ko na, oh my gosh, kung mag-slow down ako, after the race, tatanungin ako ni Donnie, Dad, what happened in the 37th kilometer?
Ayun, pwede mo sabihin na, napagod ako eh. Lahat naman ng tao napapagod eh.
Hindi nga pwede. Sana kung nagsusuka ako or something.
Dapat
or
sabihin mo, na-injure ako,
cramp,
kaya
super
natapilok
all
or
over.
something.
Bilib pa yon.
Wala na
Wow.
bang nangyaring gano'n?
Wala. Napagod lang eh. And Donnie, I know, would have said, but Dad, meron tayong pinag-usapan. You're supposed to reach a new PR, personal record. So because I got reminded of that, what did I do?
Nagmadali ka.
I pushed it. Hindi ako nagsettle.
Yeah.
Right? So the last 5 kilometers, laban lang. And I did set a new PR. If you want productivity in your life, you need accountability. Kanino ka nananagot, Mrs.? Yan ang tanong.
Parang naalala ko tuloy yung New York Marathon.
Okay.
So,
Part of the
nagbe-brain
World
freeze
Marathon
na
Majors
ako.
yan, di ba?
You have to cross 5 boroughs is what they call it.
Bridges,
The 5
5 bridges.
bridges of New York.
Ganyan yan.
And at one point, nagbe-brain
Ready ka
freeze
na,
na
New York.
talaga ako. Literally brain freeze kasi November yun eh. Malamig, 10 degrees. Tapos, nasa 21st kilometer ako. Ang ganda nung pace ko. And then, naubusan ako ng lakas. Tapos, hindi pa nakatulong na yung mindset ko, quit na ako. Tapos, iniisip ko na kung ano yung sasabihin ko sa'yo. Kasi alam ko, magagalit ka kung bakit ako nag-quit. Pero habang nire-replay ko yung sasabihin ko kung bakit ako nag-quit at gina-justify ko sa sarili ko, bigla akong may nakitang mga tao na may placard, nakalagay doon, Team Pangilinan, Go Team Pangilinan.
Pilipina.
Mga Pilipina sila.
Diba?
Tapos pinuntahan ko sila and I said, excuse me, sino po yung Pangilinan na chini-cheer ninyo? Tapos tinignan nila ako sa mata. Maricel, we came all the way here to cheer you. And Anthony, sabi ko, what? oh my gosh, just for you, I will finish this marathon.
Yeah.
Parang nagkaroon ako ng injection ng energy na saan nanggaling yung lakas na yun?
It's not about you, no? It's about others who are watching you.
Yes, and I would not have only failed you. I would have failed all those people who came all the way just to cheer us. And I had their faces in my mind the whole time. Yung biglang mag-shift lang yung utak mo, tapos susunod na yung katawan mo, magkakaroon ka ng bagong lakas na hindi mo alam kung saan ang galing. Kasi may nag-cheer sa'yo, may naniwala sa'yo. And then you realize, your finishing is not about you. It's about those people also rooting for you, hoping the best for you.
Kasi nga, mapapatanong ka di ba? Ba't ko ba pinasukan ito? Di ba?
Ako nag-sign
Diyos
up dito.
ko, bakit ko ba pinasukan itong samahan na to, your marriage? For
Yeah, but
example,
you
you
know
will
what?
ask yourself, or your marathon, right?
That's what I realized is when you're actually running your race, when you're actually in your marriage, when you're actually struggling in raising your kids, it's not the time to question things. It's the time to move forward because the questioning should have happened beforehand. And when you start
Nandiyan ka
to
na sa gitna
question, kung
di ba?
nandiyan ka na sa gitna, humanap ka na ng ka-restback mo. Kasi may umaasa na sa yung mga tao eh.
Okay, meron akong tip ha. Kung gusto mo na mag-quit dahil hirap ka na, maghanap ka ng mas malaki sa'yo. That is a technique that works for me. Maghanap ka ng mas mataba sa'yo. Mas malaki sa'yo. At siya ang windbreaker mo. No, seriously.
Yes, kasi sa
There-
race, if you go behind that person who is bigger than you,
They will break the wind.
they will pave the way for you to run smoothly.
You can actually rest. Do you know that? Do you know that you can actually rest during the marathon? You rest on a downhill. You rest when it's time for a drinking station. You rest behind those bigger than you. There are opportunities for you to step back and rest, and you need that
Well,
community.
you can also rest when you are behind somebody who's faster than you.
Yes. Yes, they're inspiring you. And looking back, saying, come on, kaya mo yan. That's why I thank Coach Dan, who's ran with me several races. Thank you for pulling me from ahead. You know, ako nasa likod, ikaw ang tagahila ko. Maraming salamat. But, what else apart from finishing the race can you have in your agenda? Well, I was surprised when Kim Atienza invited me to join
The Bordeaux Marathon.
the Bordeaux Marathon. Yung Chateau Siran was the team, di ba, that we had
Yeah.
to form. Alam mo ba sa Bordeaux Marathon, Marathon du Médoc,
Yeah.
the goal is to run 42 kilometers, but to also enjoy the wine in every vineyard that you run through south of France, the Bordeaux region, di ba? So, kailangan
So, gagano.
tumatakbo ka, di ba? Tapos, titigil ka ng panandalian. Di ba? Lalanghapin mo ang
The best
halimbawa,
wines.
Chateau de Margaux. My gosh, yung wine na yon, di ba? And then you enjoy it. They
Yes,
prepare
tapos
it for
may
you.
mga tapas,
Yes,
orders.
may konting appetizers dyan, cocktails, di ba? And then, kung masarap talaga, wag lang isa, di ba? Dapat dalawa. And then,
Takbo ka ulit.
oo, kailangan may self-control. Thank you very much, Ms. Leah. Thank you so much.
Self-control.
Kailangan
Importante yan.
yun. Kasi yung iba, siguro mga 10,000 kami sumasali nun. I don't know, 10, 12,000.
No, so many
more pa.
more.
Maybe 15,000. I don't know. Nangangalahati pa lang ng marathon. Lasing na. Di ba? So I've learned that when you run marathons such as that, you can combine both. You can have balance of life. Importante rin pala yun. Yung na-experience mo yung kailangan tapusin at this time. Pero dapat nag-i-enjoy ka along the way.
Pero
Wow.
dapat hindi ka nagpapabaya
Hindi dapat, di ba?
kasi hindi ka matatapos.
And I prepared, I prepared for that.
O, paano preparation dun?
Dito sa village natin, di ba? Every kilometer, pag nakatakbo na ako, balik ako rito, tapos may table dyan na may wine, inom, di ba? Because you had to prepare your body
Ay, nako.
for the experience. But, we did good time.
Yes.
Right?
A very good set of time.
Mga 4 hours 30 ako doon, di ba? While going through all the vineyards and enjoying the wine, and finishing with the Chateau Serran team. Thank you very much for the privilege. Thank you, Kim Atienza, for inviting me to be part of your team. I'm looking forward to doing it again someday. Diba? So, more than just finishing your marriage, more than just surviving it. That's why we...
We wrote the book, Marriage is a Marathon.
Bakit nga ba? Ba't nga ba ikaw ang
Kasi
Panimula nito,
initially,
ikaw yung-
gusto lang naman namin na meron tayong documentation or something to leave our kids with na legacy natin for having achieved our 25th year anniversary. Kaya lang, yung target namin na sana matapos siya for our 25th year, hindi nangyari. In fact, na-extend pa siya for another 5 years, kaya umabot siya ng 30 years.
Kasi hindi lang naman kami nagsulat nito eh. We have friends who joined us,
We
runners
have also our
themselves,
kids who
also
contributed to
participated
the
in
book.
the process.
Pero
diba?
basically, sinulat namin tong libro, hindi lang para sa mga anak namin, hindi lang para mag-celebrate kami. Kung hindi, sayang naman yung mga lessons na natutunan namin kung hindi namin i-share sa
By the
inyong
way,
lahat.
we also wrote a workbook. I don't know if you have a...
Yes.
If you can give me a copy.
So eventually, after having written the book, na-realize namin, if we're gonna share it with all of you, for those contemplating on how to prepare for a relationship, and then later on how to prepare for their own marriages, and then later on for those people who have been married to, again, have that spark of life inside them, gumawa kami ng workbook. Para kung halimbawa, hindi kayo maka-attend ng seminar sa pre-marriage counseling or marriage seminars, pwede na ninyong kunin yung book plus mag-follow kayo dun sa aming Marriage is a Marathon workbook tapos sundan ninyo together. If you need someone to guide you, get a third party, and then maybe you can even do it as a group so that you can be guided. Kasi wala namang mawawala sa'yo kung mas prepared ka na tahakin mo yung mga pagsubok, joys, highs, and lows of your life together. Diba?
Maricel and I are actually going through a marriage program now. And nakita namin ulit yung kahalagahan ng execution, hindi lang inspiration. Right? Yung sinabi natin, a new era. A new era of learning. You don't just hear it. ERA, you engage, right? By participating. You see the key points repeated. So repetition, engagement, and then A, application. So we ourselves realize that we can't just be inspired. We have to apply what we're learning. So that's why we came up with this. And so beyond just surviving our marriage, hopefully we're also helping marriage strengthening throughout the country or even outside of this country. And isa pang attempt natin, and we did it several times, is yung parenting convention. Right? Do you remember
Our kids
anong
were
year
little
yun?
then.
My gosh, ano yun? The
Early
first, second,
2000s
third
yun.
Philippine Parenting Convention.
I
We
think
were the conveners of that. No?
2002, something like that.
Yes,
And
yes.
kasi napansin ko, ikaw, you help facilitate conventions for corporations. Tapos I had a dream once, which I shared with you. Sabi ko, why don't we do this for parents? Kasi na-realize ko na, okay, companies are well-equipped to run their companies, pero are families equipped to run their homes? Kasi for every family that will decide to make a conscious effort to really prepare for a good family team building or recovery or team success,
Mhm.
you change a generation
Mhm.
for just one family.
Yeah.
What about many, many families that we can change? And so we conducted the first Philippine Parenting Convention, the second one, and then the third one. And then it became a nationwide caravan.
In fact, when I sat down with Joey Concepcion, maybe 20 years ago, he sat down with me and said, Anthony, what you and Maricel are doing for the family, for parenting, sabi niya, I want to do for business, for entrepreneurship. Doon nagsimula ang Go Negosyo. Wala pang ang pangalang Go Negosyo nun eh. So, Joey Concepcion and I sat down, we brainstormed, and then nabuhay yun, yung programang yun. And for the first 5 years, we were the ones that helped him organize all the events of Go Negosyo. And then eventually, na turnover na sa kanyang foundation. But yun. Yung kahalagahan ng community. And that is so important when you think of your marriage, when you think of your marathon, that this is not just about you. By the way, hindi lang horizontal, importante yung vertical. Can I just declare that my longest praise and worship sessions are the times I was preparing and running a marathon. Preparing for one and running.
Kailangan ka talaga magdasal
Oh my
kasi
God,
hindi ka
talagang
matatapos.
tatawag ka sa Panginoon, di ba? And I remember, so for 3.5 or 4 hours, sub 4 yung best time ko. Ba't yung naging best time? Because it was inspired from above. Seriously, my best praise and worship moments are preparing for running, those long marathons, and actually doing the races. Lord Jesus,
Well,
help me.
doing the races plus calling out to God to finish the race.
You wrote here in our note, you wanted me to bring this up na ano pa ba ang mga ibang reason kung ba't nag-sign up sila. Not for a marathon only, but for a marriage.
Yeah,
Limbawa.
kasi talagang mako-question mo yung
By the
sarili
way,
mo.
can I have some wine? Nagustuhan ko ata eh. Sorry, so yung mga reasons.
Mga reasons kung bakit ka
Dito tayo.
nag-sign up for your marathon, for your commitment, for your marriage, your partnership, why you signed up to even have kids or a legacy. You will question yourself. That's why it's good to have things written down. Tapos babalikan mo yun. Kasi ako, na-experience ko so many times, nag-sign up na ako for the race. Excited ako, nagastusan ko na, naplano ko na, nabook ko na. Tapos, nandun na ako sa race, tapos i-question ko yung sarili ko. And then, maaalala ko yung sinulat ko kung bakit ko nga ba sinign up yun. And then, makikita ko yung mga itsura ng mga taong invested doon sa something I signed up for. For example, like in our marriage, so many people were so invested in our marriage. Why? Because we had so many witnesses, right? We had so many people rooting for us, our counselors, our friends, all those people who attended our wedding. All
Dami
those
nila.
people were cheering us on. So you can't just say, ay, ayoko na sa'yo kasi hindi kita type or
Okay,
something.
relax lang.
Diba?
I just wanted to, may sisingit lang ako dito. Kung feeling mo, hindi ka na-imbita sa kasal namin, baka naman hindi lang umabot yung imbitasyon. Okay? Kasi,
Ang tagal na nun.
oh my God, 10 years ago may lumapit sa akin, ha? Yes. Sabi, Anthony, hindi kita mapapatawad. Sabi ko, bakit?
Ay,
Hindi mo ko inimbita sa kasal nyo. Oh my gosh! After 25 years! Ang sama pa rin ang loob niya. Actually, pinadala natin, hindi nga umabot yung... Inimbita natin siya! Hindi lang niya natanggap yung imbitasyon. 800 data inimbita
800
namin.
people. Oh my God.
No, so please,
Forgive us.
forgive us. No, not forgive us, di ba? Huwag kang magalit. Don't hold on to anger. Lalo na kung miscom lang pala. OMG naman, ano? So why did we get married? Meron kaming shared vision. Kayo ba may shared vision with your partner? Kami, to know Him, have Him known, and to...
Enjoy His presence.
That's something Maricel and I hold on to. So even in difficult times, wait, do we know Him? Have we spent time with Him today? Are we introducing Him to others? Right? And then, are we also enjoying life? Kasi hindi mo pwedeng panay obligasyon na lang, di ba? Sana naman may...
Oo, hindi naman pwede you're in the
kaligayahan
marriage
kahit
na
papaano.
hindi ka masaya, tapos talagang pinipilit mo lang. Although, there are days talaga na hindi ka masaya.
Mhm.
There are days I look at you and I don't like you very much, but I choose to like you. And then the feelings follow.
Faith
Then feelings.
precedes feelings.
Yes.
Di ba?
But iba naman yung nandun ka sa isang abusive relationship. Kasi you need to set boundaries. And then when you question yourself, bakit nga ba ako nandito? Number one, kung napilitan ka and you tried to work things out, hindi talaga kaya. Humingi na kayo ng tulong. Talagang dead end pa rin. Tapos inaabuso ka nung kasama mo, nung partner mo. You have to draw the line.
Mhm.
You have to set boundaries. And a lot of people ask me like, what is my stand on abuse and adultery and all these things? I am not for it.
Alam mo kung inaabuso ka, sinasaktan ka, hiwalayan mo yan. Sorry ha, But it's not true that you should stay in a marriage that is abusive. Tanggapin mo yan kasi nag-commit kayo. No. Maybe you will not file for divorce or annulment. Maybe. But there is wisdom in separating physically, right? For as long as needed if you're not being honored and
And
respected.
while you're physically separated, you're asking for help
Yes.
and guidance and
Yes.
support.
Balikan natin yung community, right? You talked about this in our review for this episode, that the community behind the race, the network, that's another reason that we run our marathons. That's why we stay on our marriage. Can you share a little about that? Yung mga nanay na nakasama mo, mga iba pang mga kaibigan, 'di ba, na kasama mong tumakbo. Pati nga mga anak nila, 'di ba? It's an amazing journey,
The friends that you keep also inspire you to keep going.
Mhm.
And so, kung ang circle of friends mo are those people who are very much in tune to health and wellness, you will also embrace it. Pero kung nandun ka sa circle of friends na mahilig magchismis, mahilig magkaroon ng mga crab mentality, pulling each other down, ganyan din magiging isip mo. Pero if you are in the circle of people who want to succeed, who want to improve, who want to overcome challenges, go to the next level, yan yung nakita ko sa triathlon and marathon community natin. First of all, we have amazing coaches who have been with us all throughout these years, starting with Coach Rio de la Cruz, Annie De Leon Brown,
Si Joma.
Jojo Makilintal,
Makalintal.
and then friends like Fred Uytengsu,
Okay, I want to talk about
Fernando
Fred.
Zobel.
Okay, this hit me, no? Si Fred. Sabi nila, your net worth is your net worth. Okay? And I thank the running community, triathlon community, people like Fred. For example, when I think of Fred Uytengsu,
Fred was the very first person who invited you
Grabe.
to be part of this crazy triathlon community.
join me! Ganon. Feeling ko naman, sure, Fred! Di ba? Tapos nung nag-sign up ako, kaya pala tinawag na triathlon kasi tatlo yun. Kala ko naman,
Hindi mo
isa lang.
alam.
But with Fred, it's been triathlons. With Fred, it's been community development, reaching out to communities and helping. Grabe ang aming advocacies together. Ano pa? Team building,
For
right?
his company.
For his teams, whether it's Alaska, or sino yung coach na nakasama natin? Si Tim Cone, right?
Yes.
Then naging Ginebra. With Fred, it's also media, right? I mean, he's been a constant guest to shows that I produced, or even CNN, like the boardroom. Diyan yan, si Fred as one of my main guests, talking to CEOs, right? And chairmen of huge companies. So you realize that it's not just about running, right? It's not just about completing a triathlon. It's building community together. Building community together. And I'm inspired also by, for example, yung nangyari sa inyo ni Jamie. Diba? And ngayon si Hannah.
Yes, so Jamie Pizarro, the one who founded the Bull Runner Dream Marathon, was where I ran my first marathon at 42. So I was 42 years old running my first 42-kilometer race.
Pacer.
Yes, and Anthony was my pacer.
42 at 42.
So
Diba?
ever since Jamie started the Bull Runner Dream Marathon, she has conducted it for so many years. One day, I didn't know we would find Hannah, our Hannah, for her Just One fun run, teaming up with Jamie Pizarro, and now it's called Just One Dream.
Grabe. Grabe yan.
Ano yun? It's a full circle, di ba? Now it's the new generation taking over from the same people who have planted seeds in us, grown with us, and now it's the next generation moving forward with this dream.
Jamie, thank you, Pizarro. Thank you for the trust and the inspiration that you have given Hannah, right, as a co-organizer of running events in this country. Have more than just finishing in your agenda. M-O-R-E. Okay? Ito na naman tayo.
M.
Sorry. M is Meaning multiplies after every mile.
Wow.
Diba?
Nagkakaroon ng more meaning after every
Oh my
mile.
God, nangangalahati na ako. Oh my God, I'm hitting the 30th and suddenly you realize this
Sasabihin
really
mo,
means
konti
a
na
lot to
lang.
me.
Yes,
Grabe.
matatapos na ako.
And seriously, as you go through your marriage, as you go through your marathons, you see more and more reasons, diba? More meanings, realizations over time. Oh, others who are watching are inspired and are drawn to. Sa kwento mo, diba? Sa kwento mo.
Yes.
That's why we love running the Dream Marathon. The Bull
Runner,
Dream Marathon. Kasi
Yes.
doon, we run with them. The last 100, 200 meters. Sabayan mo, di ba? Because they are inspired by you, inspire them too. So others are actually inspired and drawn to join you. M-O-R. Resilience. Ayan, nandito. Grow with resistance. See, when you run marathons and when you stick it out in your marriage, lalo kang tumatatag regardless of challenges.
Hindi, tsaka pag nag-training
trouble
ka
in
sa
your life.
mga hills and the highs and the lows will just be
Diba talaga?
just part of your training.
So do not run away from resistance. Do not run away from problems or trouble because they make you more resilient over time. And finally,
Experience. Excellence ba?
oo nga.
Hindi
Oo.
experience.
Ako yung nagtuturo.
Ah,
Okay?
sorry.
Okay.
Mali.
Huwag ka na ma-involve kasi nagkakamali ka lang. Excellence! Ano ba?
Excellence and
Because when you
experience.
complete a marathon,
Pinili talaga.
di ba? Siyempre, yung standard mo maakyat. When you reach your 10th year, siyempre, umaakit yung standard. When you reach your 25th year, umaakit yung standard.
Well,
So,
hopefully, nag-i-improve.
yes. That's why reaching standards higher and higher over time, excellence is a legacy that you leave behind for future generations. M-O-R-E.
O, closing na.
Tingnan muna
Sabihin mo
natin yung light.
Okay.
Ito importante to ha. You know, we are part, I am definitely part of an international network of people who look at their second half as being the more important half of life. Yung ba kasi first half eh. Ito second half. And can I tell you, okay, through this book again, what are the 5 things the most successful professionals at the second half of their lives prioritize? Ano yung 5 yun? This is according to a dear mentor, friend of mine, Lloyd Reeb, international spokesperson of Halftime. In his research, found out ang 5 pinaka-importanting prioridad ng
Ay
mga
ang
matagumpay
sumusunod.
sa kanilang second half. Number 1,
Loved ones.
ang kanilang priority.
Yes, your spouse is first.
Lalo na ang kanilang mga career. You want to prioritize their success, not yours. Loved
Ayan.
ones.
So, your spouse and their career.
Okay. Number 2,
Inner circle.
importante ang mga kinakausap mo, binabarkada mo, who you hang out with, who you listen to. Next.
God.
Of course, ano ba ang kanyang purpose para sa iyo at this time of your journey?
Health.
'Di ba? Importante 'yan.
Kailangan.
Exercise pa din.
Kahit
Exercise
na
pa
tumatanda
more.
ka na. Lalong-lalo na. T. Transformation.
That you keep learning, that you keep growing, that you keep changing. L-I
G-H-T. Loved ones, inner circle, God, health, and transformation.
Stay in the light as you finish your marathon. Application, yung 4 L's ni Covey. Okay, we'd like to ask you a few questions as you think about how you can apply this particular podcast lessons to your life. So take time to ask yourselves, list down. Maybe now you can do this with your partner or on your own, di ba? What can you accomplish as you continue with your run or your marriage? Number 1, yung live. Han, tanong mo, ano yung question? Live.
Any way you can better provide for each other?
Can you still help your family live better lives? Next is love.
Ayan. How can you love each other better doing what is best for each other as spouses or even for your children?
O yung in-laws nyo, baka pwede nyo pang mahalin. May pag-asa
For
pa.
sure yan, for sure.
And then, learn.
What's the next thing you can do for yourselves to level up? Or have a stress management course or anger management program for both.
Si Maricel, yan, pinag-aaralan ng anger management even as she enters her year. Diba?
Menopause, you can say it.
And then finally, leave a legacy.
What should you invest in now to leave something far greater of a value for the next generation?
L, live. L, love. L, learn. L, leave a legacy. The 4 L's. Apply it now. And finish. Great. Not just good. Have more than just finishing in your agenda.
Thank you for joining us in today's podcast for Marriage is a Marathon.
God bless you.
Run it one step at a time. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Marriage is a Marathon, the podcast. Run it one step at a time. Thank you so much, Mango, for our outfits for today.
For feedback and suggestions, please comment below. Follow us on our socials, Anthony Pangilinan and Mommy Maricel. See you next podcast. God bless.